Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to have a sit down talk. Now this talk, I haven't said much about it on my channel or what we're dealing with, but we have a 1.5-year-old, Risby 2, less than 2 weeks. But I guess this is important to talk about. Reese always have had throwing up, which they told us it was acid reflux. You've always had acid reflux from the time he was 2 weeks old. So he constantly threw up, constantly on us. I mean like just a normal spit up. I mean like threw up every time, all day long. So we went back to the doctor to see his pediatrician. They told us he had acid reflux, which because to them that was the symptoms, like a infant constantly throwing up, acid reflux. They didn't think much of anything else of it. And then we noticed Ray was having breathing problems. I thought maybe he had asthma because asthma runs in the family. I have asthma. No, his acid reflux was causing his food to go in his lungs, you guys know. So even if he was getting pneumonia, he didn't have the bacterial pneumonia. He got pneumonia because food went into his lungs for him throwing up so many times. So every time we thought it was his acid reflux when we took him to the doctor. Now, our doctor office doesn't have let's get an MRI, let's get an X-ray, let's get this. They don't have all that. So we have to go from the doctor to the hospital. So we just, most of the time we would go to after the third time he got it, we just went to the hospital. And Reese was crying. The last time he went to the hospital was about 2 to 3 months ago. He was burning up, literally. I mean, when we put him down to sleep, he was fine. He wasn't running a fever, he wasn't warm, and he was sleeping in our bed, and Sean was asleep. So I went in there around 11:30, and so when I went to push Reese over, move him over so I can get in bed, I touched him. That child was so hot to the touch of my hand. I said, okay, something's not right, because he shouldn't be he's on fire. I mean, he was sleeping, but you can hear it, he was breathing. He was having more trouble breathing. You kind of know that once you've had asthma yourself, and asthma runs in your family. You know when someone is having a hard time getting air into their lungs and breathing properly, because you start to hear that wheeze. You start to hear you see how their chest, up and down their chest is going. They're struggling hard. They're struggling more than they need to struggle when they want to get air in. So I go and get our thermometer, and I got the digital one that's on our phone. So you plug it. I mean, you have it, but you plug it the cord in your phone, and after a minute, it just was sending it sends this alarm. It's saying call pediatrician, call pediatrician, call pediatrician, and then when it's still that is making that noise, it's alarming you, his temperature is too high. So he was at a 100.7 fever. What the thermometer was, it was told us 100.5. We said okay, and then I said okay, let me retake it with a normal one, and that one was beeping that it was 100.7. So I woke Sean. I don't even think we call his doctor, but I woke Sean. I said, Sean, something not right. He's breathing funny. Sean got up to look at how Reese was breathing. He was breathing really funny. He was having a really hard time breathing. It was burning up. He literally was weak. You know how when you touch your little one, or they know you're up there, they get up, they get happy. The Reese was just you knew something wasn't right. And so we're 5 minutes from the hospital. So I don't even think we put much on him. We just wrapped him, and we just got in the car and left. Let's get to the hospital now. And so when we got there, we wasn't in the waiting room at all for long, about 2 minutes, because we told them He went from just being normal. We had literally just seen, we had went to two doctor's appointments within this week. So from him seeing a doctor on Tuesday and Thursday, we had a free day on Friday and Saturday, and he was sick, like sick Sunday night. Like literally, he went from being fine those days and got like completely sick. And so we were explaining what was going on. They couldn't get his temperature. They couldn't get his oxygen levels and his pulse because Ray's was screaming so hard. He was screaming, crying. Literally, Ray's having fear of doctors. He just does. I mean, as I told you guys, Ray's have had a lot of tummy problems since birth, so he's been in a lot of doctor's appointments. We've been tested a lot. He's been pricked. It's a lot for a 1-year-old or any type of baby to handle. So yes, they started to get that fear because they know they're about to get pricked or touched, and everyone's wanting to touch them, and they don't want you to touch them. So we went in. They gave him the medicine. Well, they tried to give him the medicine, but they didn't look much at Ray's chart. Notice that Ray's have a really bad gag reflex. So, like, if you try to force something down his throat or you make him super upset, he's going to vomit all that back up. So they kind of didn't pay attention because they were trying to, like, get this fever down. His fever was too high. I mean, they could have just did an IV, but people like, I don't want my baby to be pricked. But I think the IV would have been more successful than them trying to hand you everything, because you got a squirming little baby that's screaming, that has a really bad reflex, and so it just didn't go right. So after I had to calm Maurice down, so after the nurses walked out, because he flipped, so the doctor seemed to have it was a male, he seemed to have more of a like smoother approach to Ray's. One thing is that once he touched Ray's was fine with him talking to him, being at his distance, but once you came straight to touch him, it flipped out. So we like really had to just deal with Ray's screaming and crying. I said, just do it. We'll calm him down later. Let's get what we need to get done. We'll hold him down. So me and Sean took turn. It was hard because your baby is screaming, crying because he's hurting somewhere. He's in pain. So Ray's kind of having an ear infection. He had a nose infection. He said his throat looked a little sore. So whatever it had from the time we were in the hospitals, because his appointments were at the hospitals, Reese picked up something. We don't know. He picked up a bacteria that just attacked his system. Since he have a weak immune system, it attacked him so fast. So even though he was healthy majority of this week, but from the time we went to the doctors, and then Sunday, it just hit his system hard. Like, his body didn't even have a chance of fighting it. It just hit him so hard. So that's where we're at. Where he's got a weak immune system. He had acid reflux. He's had acid reflux since birth. That's what we thought it was. He had experienced heartburn. He have had pneumonia 3 to 4 times. He have had an ear infection. He's always sick. He gets sick really fast. So he can be happily normal when we're in home. And I think because our home is so clean, he's not in contact with those germs. So for instance, every time we went to church, Ray's got sick. I mean, like, not just like a normal sick you stay at home, but a sick we had to take a hospital visit. He's actually right here. He had a hospital sick, so we went for, let's speed it up. After going through all this, and they kept telling us Ray's had acid reflux, we took him back for his 19-month appointment, which was like back in June. We're at, give me 1 second, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we took him back for his 19-month appointment. We were trying to explain to his, well, we didn't have to do much explaining because it happened to her. We were trying to tell her that Reese is constantly still throwing up like an infant. Like, something's not right. He's just constantly throwing up. You can hear like and you couldn't force him to spit it out because he would swallow it, because that's just kids. But you can hear him all day going, you can just hear that all day with him walking. He was throwing it, like you hear it coming up and he will swallow it back down. So when I was explaining, I said, this is what happened. She said, okay, let me take a look at him. And so when she got him to hold him, because, they're walking around, still trying to get ready to be happy because they know he have a fear of doctors. He threw all up on her like 2 to 3 times. And she was like, and then when I got him, he was still doing it. And I said, this is what we're going through every day. This is what is going on. We're constant. We don't know. I'm like, no matter. We can cut down how much food he eats. We can give him eat every 2 hours, but less food. I said, you give him a big portion. And I'm like, something's not right. He's barely eating. His will be 2, as I told you guys, in less than 2 weeks. He eats more of baby food than anything. He still eats a lot of parade foods. He does not eat a lot of table food where it causes him to chew and use his mouth. He does not. So she said, okay, we may have misdiagnosed Aries from something else. Like she said, because if you're saying since he have already had this since birth, he have had this problem since birth, he have had ammonia multiple times within each month after month. Like he got better, then he got it again, he got better, and he got it again. We were on the Radidine. That did not do any good for us. The Radidine, I think, was peppermint, so it made it worse because mint can also make acid reflux worse than it does helping you. And so she was like, okay, we're going to schedule you to go to a gastrologist. We went to the gastrologist appointment back in July. And so the gastrologist did not like what she was hearing. She said, no, Ray should have been getting seen since he was already past 1. He was 1.5. He should have been getting seen. They basically were telling us that yes, their doctors did overlook his condition. They did just diagnose him with a simple acid reflux when it was way more. So we basically got more of a severe case than a normal case. He was more of a severe acid reflux child if they did diagnose, but they just diagnosed as normal acid reflux. He was more really severe. From looking at the symptoms, his documents, his health history, how many times he's been hospitalized for the same thing. So we're in this appointment for 4 hours, you guys. Usually, I understand you got that hour wait. We had that hour wait, so we were at the hospital for 5 hours. We did go to UK. We're in Kentucky, but that's not the hospital we normally go to. But that's just where we were sent to because that's where they said the best pediatric gastrologist was. So you want the best for your kids, so you go there. And we have not had to have a scope done, but we do. We went with the non-medicine method, but we went to the diet because she said she kind of had an idea of what was wrong, what could be wrong. So milk, she said from where we're experiencing it, Reese may have a milk protein allergy, which it's a lot of time why he's throwing up. A lot of times people think acid reflux is just for the reason for them to throw up. No, allergies is the number one reason where your child can throw up. You don't think it, you just think, oh, it's normal. But she was saying they have a higher chance throwing up something than he is to you see hives. You notice hives because a hive can be here. You probably not notice if your child got a lot of clothes on. Hives don't always show up on the faces. They can show up on other parts of the body. And so she was just saying that her theory was that Ray's had a milk protein allergy. Not saying that he did not have acid reflux because he was still on the scale of having acid reflux also, which is GRID, which is when your child throw up more than 5 times a day. But since Ray was constantly all day, he was just above the scale of acid reflux. He was at GRID, which is severe. So she put us on a 9 to 10 week diet. So where Reese could not have anything with dairy, anything that consists of dairy. Most of the time, we just thought we was going to be going there and they tell us that he could not have milk, cheese, yogurt, eggs. No, it was a whole nother story. We had to switch his whole routine. snacks, cereals, things you don't think milk is in. Excuse us. Had milk, so you had to think about the cereal you're giving him. You had to think about the yogurt. You had to think about the even crackers, pasta sauce. A lot of things you had to think about what you were giving him that he's not supposed to have. So it was a major life change, and it was so dramatic. Ray stopped eating. So within the second week of the diet, Ray stopped eating. He didn't want anything. He barely would drink liquids. And so I called the nutritionist back. I said, I can't get him to eat anything. And so they said, okay, go back to the almond milk. Go to the soy milk. Get him to get something in his system. So he was so rebellious. Like, he did not take anything. Now he do not drink anything that's white because he feared that it's the... We're not going to say it because he's going to cry. So I'm just going to show you guys because he know what this is because we're trying to explain to him that he have an allergy. I mean, he only be 2, but you still, it's best to explain it to him. But he'll cry if I say it. So this was the one we were given first. So he would not drink that. It was, to him, it was nasty. If you taste it, it's not nasty, but it's rocky. It's not smooth. So if you're used to drinking something smooth going down, that's what you want. And this is not smooth, so he just didn't want to drink it. Next thing is that, so throughout, Ray's is really tiny. He's on a small scale. He's in the 21 percentile of weight, which is really low for his age since he will be 2 and he's only 20 pounds. I mean, he gained about this year, he gained about 2.5 pounds. Not even that, because he haven't gained any weight since last year, because he was like 18 something. No, 18 and 19. So technically this year, let's get the weight right. So in December, when we go for his weight check and stuff, for his birthday and stuff, he was like 19 pounds. So if you think about this year, we're in December, so from last December till now, he's only gained a pound, which is really not good if you think about it, because I never thought about it. So now we're on a weight check. So Ray's is doing kind of okay with his diet, but he's only eating 5 things, which is horrible. So he stopped eating fruits and vegetables table-wise, like if you give him blueberries, if you give him pineapples, if you give him orange. He used to eat that, but he does not eat that. So we kind of have to take that off the list because we have to like go alternate with the change without the change. So he'll eat noodles. He likes noodles. It don't have to be like the Roman. He just wants the noodles. Like, you don't even have to flavor it. He just wants the noodles. We can't give him pasta sauce or pizza. He likes it, but I noticed that he get a lot of heartburn and really like gassy, so I just took it out. So that's another thing we lost, because he can't eat the pizza and he can't eat the spaghetti. So we're just at noodles, chicken, and food pouches, which is 3 items, and french fries. So that's 4 items, which is not good because it doesn't give you much room to change what he eats, how he eats it. He would not. It's all a texture thing with him right now. We are supposed to be giving him needle cake. This is very expensive. It's $145 for 22 cartridges, which is a maybe or maybe not your child would drink it. Rays have not had any. So we are on a 6-week weight check every 6 weeks until he gained weight. So basically within his 10-week diet we're on, Reese gained a half an ounce, not even a full ounce. And so they were saying that they weren't even going to count that ounce, because if Reese was to run around that room a few times, he would lose that half ounce he already gained. So because he's not gaining weight, he'd only basically have gained a pound within a year, if we're thinking back. I do keep all these things. So last December he was 19 pounds, and we're ready to come December in a few days, he's only 20 pounds. So he's very active. He doesn't eat much. So we have a milk protein allergy with him. He also, they're thinking that he just may have a high allergy to protein because he cannot eat eggs. When we gave him eggs, he broke out in hives. So they're thinking Reese may just have a higher allergy to protein, period. So instead of giving him like a big dose of it right away, we have to try to kind of get it broken down, because he can eat eggs if you cook it within other foods, if you get what I'm saying. Like, so if you make him pancakes, you need eggs, he won't break out from it. But if you're just giving him eggs, because he'll just, I guess it's just how you giving it to a person, he reacts. So he will be 2 December 11th. He's 20 pounds. We're going through grid. Which is acid reflux, heartburn, food allergies. There's always a change can happen, because he also not only does, people need to learn, lactose intolerance and a milk protein allergy are two separate things. So he has both, but they are two separate cases. Like, most people think they're just like go together. No, they don't go together. They're two separate. Because when he has a lactose intolerance, he cannot digest the sugars in the milk. He cannot. Not only can he not do that, but since he has a milk protein allergy, he cannot digest the protein in the milk. So which causes him to, why he was like throwing up, bawling, because he had two separate things happening and was just clashing with a little, when you have a little body. They were clashing. So not only he had that milk protein allergy, he had an allergy to protein. He was having an allergic reaction to the protein in the milk, and then he had the acid reflux, and then he had the lactose intolerance, which is where he cannot digest, or his system cannot digest the sugars. So all that clashing together. Yeah, so it seemed like we were going to have to do a second video so I give you guys an update. We do go back in January for an update, because to see where we're at with him. We're still haven't had much of a change, but we are getting ready to start food therapy. It's kind of really a busy, he's going through a lot to only be about to be 2. We're going to start food therapy pretty soon. We have to go for our evaluation, and he's in therapy, speech therapy now. But his speech therapy, before we started and we did his eval, she said he needed occupation therapy or food therapy. They told us, we're going through 4 steps, that they wanted to see how food therapy would work for him. And so we went back to his gastrologist. Gastrologist said Reed should have been in, his food therapy should have been top priority than his speech. And if we had concerns, we mentioned this, but it's like how the insurance and who's paying for it, they was like, well, we wanted his speech. If his speech is not good, then we will cover his food therapy or his OT, occupation therapy, to get him to eat. And so now, like, after we went for Reed's 10-month checkup, which was recently, 10-week checkup from his diet, they said Reed's, that should have been top priority, should have been his food therapy, which we try to push it, but it is very expensive if your insurance is not willing to cover it. If they already are covering one therapy already, and for to get them to cover another therapy, they want like data. They want to see that the child needs it. Reed's is coming along pretty good doing speech. I mean, you have to be patient with it, but he's starting to, he only was saying mom and dad. Now we're at 10 to 11 words compared to where we've been at. He have once a week, and we're getting ready to go for his eval for see how often will we go for food therapy. I'm thinking food therapy maybe 2 weeks, because I think speech is going to have to take the backhand right now, and food therapy will have to be the first, like the primary. Like, one can be primary, one can be, you hear him, he's trying to talk. But thank you guys for watching. I will be doing an update video. There's a lot of information. There's a lot, because it's like we're hit with 3 to 4 different things that is going on with the race than just one. Like, we're hit with allergies, we're hit with acid reflux, we're hit with him being lactose intolerance, we're hit with him not wanting to eat, him being in fear. It's just so much going on. You don't know where to start. But thank you guys for watching. I will be doing an update video, and peace out, M&Ms.